All right, welcome back to the Guildies podcast. Today we're going to do another segment of gamer news. I'm joined today by my good pals Bear and Dylan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, fellas. How's everybody doing today? You guys feeling good?
I am feeling good. It's slightly warm though.
In Oz right now?
Yeah, it's meant to be 30 today, and then
Can
it's
we
gonna be.
Can we get that in Fahrenheit?
Well, in regular people it's 30 Celsius, but it is 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow,
So-
that's not bad. Like, it's
not bad.
I'm sure it's gonna get worse.
It is. I believe next week it's like nearing 40 for the entirety of like the later part of the week. So
It's pretty
Pretty-
weird that
pretty-
it's summer for you right now, but it's like Christmas just happened.
yeah, dude. A nice hot summer Christmas day
Yeah,
is an Australian tradition.
It's so weird. Like, so do you guys call it winter still though, right? Or do you call your summer months
It's summer.
winter?
It's called summer.
So it's
winter's
summer
a-
right now in Australia.
Yeah, it is classed
Man,
as summer.
I'm glad y'all
Yeah.
on a rock. I don't wanna.
What are you talking about? I love some good motherfucking bushfires and drought.
Whoa, hey. How's
I'm
it-
Australian. I can talk about that.
That's true. Yeah, you have the Australian word pass.
God.
Yeah, you you have the boomerang pass, as it were. Dylan, how is it in your neck of the woods?
The other day, it was negative 14 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's
And It's sweltering 1 degrees Fahrenheit today.
yeah, it got down to like -4 here this past weekend, and I was like, yeah, not and the worst part is, so I don't mean to dox myself or Dildor. We live near the Great Lakes. I'll tell you that much. And so we'll get like a humid, like, oh, it's 20 degrees out and wet. And then it'll be like, oh, now it's -4. So everything that was like not yet frozen is now completely frozen solid.
To live in the Midwest is to be gaslit by Mother Nature.
Yeah. It's horrible. And I drive my tiny Japanese car like 35 minutes to work every day. And that commute turns into like an hour because listen, I'd hate to get into politics here. That's not me. I don't want that. But my dad works for the Department of Transportation here. And I don't know if I should.
Yeah, you should probably like slow down.
Yeah, we'll
Cut it.
we'll cut him. We'll get it in post. Don't worry. And he's like, oh yeah, all these damn liberal blah blah blah. I can't start work until 9 a.m. But it started snowing at 4. God damn it. Basically, labor laws prevent him from working too much overtime. But yeah, they just like don't start plowing the roads until like 9. But I have to drive on a main road at like 7 a.m. So it's literally just not plowed.
Hell yeah,
Dude, it's
a
fun.
bum with a Wade, man.
Yeah, it's bonkers, honestly.
I have the same
Fuck.
distance commute, and I have to leave the house at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
so it's
I have to. Yeah,
yeah.
Not good. Okay, enough about us and our pathetic wage cuck lives. Let's jump into gamer news.
Get gamer news.
Yeah. Good
Bro.
gamer news. Okay, we're going to start on a high point today. Resident Evil 2 Remake is the 3rd best-selling Capcom game of all time, following directly behind Monster Hunter World at number 1 and Resident Evil 7 at number 2.
Good,
Yeah.
dude. Resident Evil 2. It's Resident Evil 2, right? It's not like
Yeah,
Evil.
Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, talk about an amazing experience that game is. Like, I'm someone who has no past love for Resident Evil. Like, the first I've done is like Resident Evil 4.
Mhm.
And like going into it, I was completely blind to what it was going to be. But dude, that game, like, it runs amazing. It feels fun, and there's a lot of replayability to it so far, from what I remember anyway.
Sure. Well, and it's genuinely scary. Like, it did a great job of bringing like what 4 was trying to accomplish with, you know, becoming an actual video game you play, not like a horrible like Jackson Pollock artwork thing that like twitches every 3 seconds. But there was a lot of genuine dread into, especially the blind playthrough. Like your first time there's quite a bit of like the world is moving and breathing and, you know, breathing down your neck. It's great. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I've only touched Resident Evil 2 Remake for like I think 2 hours or something, and I think I screwed myself over by wasting too much ammo. But at any rate, yeah, dread is like the best way to describe it, because it's like, I don't know. There's a bunch of non-scary Resident Evils, like kind of from 4 onwards. Like 4 is tense, but it's not scary, and then 5 was really not scary. So like it's and
What do you mean?
Right. And then what you're saying too, Bear, is like that the controls actually feel good. Like I appreciate like the tank and the like Resident Evil 4 style. Like I think they serve a purpose, but like 2 still feel like it feels great to control, and it doesn't feel like you're playing like Gears or something. Like it's still very tense, like when you have to shoot. Even with like normal third-person shooter controls.
Close to my heart. Very happy to hear that.
I still dread, like, the first time going back to the blind playthrough aspect, is like, I've never felt so much like just fuck in a game, is when I'm running around and suddenly I just hear Doctor, whatever, like Mr. X or whatever his fucking name is, just fucking stomping around. Doctor? Okay.
No, it's Mr.
But like
Senior X.
Whether it's like a floor above you, or you're like, you don't know where exactly it is, but you hear a door open and the footsteps go from muffled to like clearly in the room, but you still can't see him, like especially in the main room at the start. Like, dude, like, holy shit.
They do a great job with that. The sound effects in that game are and like we've talked about before, Capcom can make a literal masterpiece of gaming. They just appear to choose not to. But like that and the tongue things, I don't know what those are called. The liquors. Terrifying. Also very, because not only are they like extremely devastating as far as damage, they're spooky and they can be on the walls, and they're actually kind of easy to miss if you're like running through somewhere, or they can be like directly above you when you walk in so you can't even see them. They pack the dread into a game that kind of serves as an action game as well, which I think I don't want tank controls, because that wasn't scary. That was just frustrating. That'd be like if I was in a wheelchair and running from zombies. No, hold on. This isn't an ableist thing. It's just like it'd be like if I was getting chased by a bunch of like zombie old people, but my legs didn't work and I had to like roll a really rusty like wheelchair around. Like, that's just inconvenient. That's not scary.
I kind of want to see a Resident Evil character in a wheelchair now. Like, that'd be kind of cool. Like, knowing Resident Evil would be like some C-virus fucking bullshit that just cripples everyone. Like,
everyone's just got Lou Gehrig's disease.
Resident Evil Ironside.
Yeah.
That's cold.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. You wrong for that one, my friend.
Not to get like too tangential, but to address the tank controls thing, part of it is like the time period that it was released, and they wanted it because of the fixed camera angles, which they needed to make it work graphically.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, because otherwise what happens is if you're just holding forward with like a more traditional setup or whatever, the camera angle will flip and you'll keep running back and forth between the same 2 screens over and over again.
Right. And I totally understand that it was necessary and it was like the best they could do then. It just ages really bad.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
It's a difficult thing to go back to. No, it's not, but
it takes getting used to. Like even for 4, I think it takes getting used to that control setup. Like it doesn't play like a Gears or like the remake does.
Yeah,
2.
I don't know if there was like a good reason to not let you strafe, other than like it didn't let you in other games. Like I feel like we were at like 2004 when it came out. Like we were strafing existed.
Well, the thing too, it was a GameCube exclusive, so they don't like using that C stick. Like that's barely a function on that controller. So they wanted it.
That's that's an interesting point. I never thought about how few games like actually utilize the baby C.
You only would use it like if you're playing Zelda or like you kind of like nudge the camera like a little bit. But yeah, like it was barely used. Like I don't know, there's only a handful of shooters on that platform, and I think even like not a lot even use the C stick for that. But
could you use the C stick in Sunshine? You couldn't, can you? Can you? Couldn't
you could turn the camera, I think.
Pretty sure that was just the LNR. See, this is foolish, Dylan.
Is it?
Why did you take me down this route?
Well, you brought up tank controls, so
I did. Okay, enough about. Well, here, let's touch on one more thing. Resident Evil 7 being the second best-selling Capcom game ever breaks my heart, and that's all I've got to say about it.
I get it, but
yeah, I do too. But it making me
also
sad.
It's a sad thing as well. Not to go too tangenty. But when you said 7, I had to think through the Resident Evil real quick, and 6 just fucking escaped my mind. Like holy shit,
comfy game. Bad game, but comfy game. Love
dude,
that game. Want to give him a hug.
I heard 7's just.
We had our 7.
Yeah, we have dunked on 7. Let's the way this podcast is gonna go today is we're gonna start with the good news and then just roller coaster down, and there's not going to be an up. So everybody strap in. We're hitting our peak here.
Get your go-go juice ready.
Yeah,
bro.
Hitting our peak with Warhammer 3 announced, fellas. Yes. Yes, Total War Warhammer 3
Dude,
officially announced. We got a little trailer. I'm excited. I love Total War Warhammer 1 and 2. I think it's the best Warhammer games to ever come out.
Dude.
But I've played about 4 Warhammer games, so that maybe my opinion is not necessarily valid, but I do love Total War, and I honestly, it's my favorite Total War game, too. As someone who's played Rome Total War and Shogun 1 and 2.
Shogun 2 is really good.
Yeah, Shogun 2 was very good, but I think Warhammer is my favorite one, so this is exciting.
Dude.
Do we know if they're gonna do like the stacking thing like they did in 1 and 2, where like you could take DLC from?
Yes. So that currently is theory. It's like a theorized thing in the community where they're gonna release something like the Chaos Dwarves as a pre-order bonus for 3. But if you have okay. So this is I don't know if you know, but the Chaos Dwarves. They're like a. Yeah, it's they're kind of like Persians. They've got Persian hats. But you're right. You need a.
I can't, dude. Chaos Dwarf. Hey, what are those? And you're like, they're Persians.
Well, they're technically in the game now, but it's like they're only in one unit. They're in a Chaos Artillery Piece unit, and they're models of the Chaos Dwarves.
Oh, I know the unit you're talking. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're small. They're the only things you see of them. But it's kind of speculated that it'll be a pre-order bonus. But if you pre-order the game, you'll have access to them in Warhammer 2 in the Grain campaign. But yeah, but they'll absolutely do like the stacking thing and everything.
That's exciting, dude. The map that they showed for it,
the map is gonna be like humongous.
Unbelievable. It's already unbelievably large, and needlessly so.
Yeah,
I'm so excited,
dude. I can't. I was in bed. It was like 2 a.m., maybe 3, and I was like looking at my phone. and I saw because they've been like leading up to like the announcement of it for like a couple. It was like days nearly. It was like back to back.
Oh, okay.
Then, bam! It like came out. They released a trailer, dude. I was like smiling in my bed. I was screaming. I was messaging Hayden here, dude. Oh, dude, I'm so happy. I love Total War, and Warhammer is like one of those games where I've got. I'm not like a super nerd with it, but I've got like 552 hours in Total War.
I mean,
2.
that's enough
Like,
time.
I love Total War. It was such a simplification of the series, but also keeping it more fun.
And it sold amazing. I think for a
was.
while Warhammer was maybe not waning in popularity and quality, but waning in popularity and quality. And Total War, Warhammer 1 and 2, just like huge, and they weren't even like huge AAA titles, but like everyone was playing. Anyone who cared about it was playing it and talking about it, and it killed, and it should have. The games are fantastic.
Yeah, I expect a lot out of Warhammer 3 because this is technically the last entry into the Warhammer series because it covers like the real end times, I believe, or whatever.
That's interesting. Before the time jump thing.
I believe before it goes into Age of Sigmar, where it's fucking not Age of Sigmar, or something like that. It's when everyone it's like kind of like it's in the lore. It's like 1, 2, and then 3 is when like the real like chaos thing. The chaos hordes come like that's because like the big thing, the main factions are they have the the chaos lords. They have the Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, and who's the last guy? And
anyways,
I think Slaanesh. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, it's very exciting, and it's the last one in the series. So anyone who's like, Medieval 3 Total War, I wanted that. You'll probably get it in fucking next like year or so or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that they released those and I didn't care.
A lot of people want Medieval 3, but Warhammer's kind of like taken the throne of like current.
Yeah, it's done. I think it's the best-selling Total War game that.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's like kind of like the Halo community. A lot of people are very elitist and just want historical rather than fantasy.
No way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got that one in the books. Let's move on to the slow decline into madness in the news. EA to continue, and I quote, full steam ahead on Star Wars games despite losing exclusivity. Despite no longer having the exclusive rights to make Star Wars games. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know if they mean like if they're actually gonna just start making games or if they're gonna like continue support maybe or like something like that.
They have new games. In the article they talk about there is I think 2 new Star Wars games being made by EA, even though their little like monopoly on it ends in 2024, I believe.
I feel like they're gonna get either sued or like they're already in like or they're already in talks with like Disney about it and if they can extend it.
Well, and so that's part of some of the recent news where Disney I think they're reopening Lucas Arts, the studio, or some Lucas blank publisher thing.
Lucas Star Wars.
And there's no more exclusivist. It's not exclusive anymore. I don't know why I keep trying to pronounce the word. I don't even know if that's right. I have it written down. I don't know if that's but anyone can make them now if they have like the rights to the IP. So
that's interesting.
It is, yeah, and apparently BioWare is working on another EA thing or another Star Wars game, which is I think supposed to be the follow-up to Knights of the Old Republic. So
a lot of games.
Yeah, a lot of Star Wars stuff on the horizon. I think it's going to be a good decade for the.
I'm excited.
Sky.
I mean, I've been kind of replaying the Jedi Order, and it's like meh.
Replaying the what?
The Jedi Fallen Order. It's the Star Wars.
Oh, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like meh. Like I hope there's some good Star Wars titles coming.
It looked pretty bland. I never had the joy of spending $60 on a 10-hour single player game, but
Yeah,
it looks pretty white bread.
It's
Why don't
it's
they
like
just make a new Jedi Knight?
Ooh.
Kyle Katarn back.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Those
fun
are like
game.
some of the best games. Or why don't they be big brain and give us a new strategy like RTS, like
Ooh,
Empire,
Oh,
like
dude.
Galactic Battlegrounds. Ooh.
Galactic Battlegrounds, or Empire at War? Maybe
I
do
would
a
love-
war type of thing. I don't know.
Dude, I would love like a newer Empire. Like the modding scene behind that game is insane, and it's like the idea of a full like studio backing of a new iteration of the game would be oh my god.
I think we'll see it. I think there's enough steam behind Star Wars right now, and not that there really ever hasn't been. Star Wars has literally always been just a phenomenal hit. But I mean, I think we're hitting another, once EA stops being, well, because here's the interesting thing about the EA exclusive rights. People couldn't publish Star Wars games. It doesn't mean they can't work on publishing or work on Star Wars games. So there's quite a few companies that have been working on Star Wars games who I think have been working with Disney, but they can't release them until the exclusive rights go away for EA. So I think we have a lot on the burner right now that's getting like put together, and hopefully having like a big window to do it in is going to be beneficial, and we're not going to just shit out horrible games with the Star Wars IP on it, because that would make me sad.
True. I think Star Wars this year could be like huge for Star Wars, depending on what they do.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the year, you have the Book of Boba coming out for Disney Plus, which is like the Boba Fett series, which with the original guy that played Boba, which is exciting.
That is actually pretty cool.
And they just came off Mando, which was highly successful.
Still haven't watched it. I want to.
You should really do.
It's
really an amazing piece of
Star
Star Wars.
I should really do.
But well, yeah, I mean, I hope Star Wars explodes again this year. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's due for another. I mean, they can only go up from the fucking dumpster fire that was episode 9. But to continue on this track of news, EA also in the news, and this one's a little more exciting. I think you fellas will enjoy. There was a leak at EA that says this week they're deciding whether they're going to abandon or fix Anthem.
Oh man, that
like whether they're going to just be like, okay, that was a wash, time to work on a new game, or if they're going to revamp it. They basically said that it would take a significant amount of people, anywhere from like 50 to 90 workers, to fix the game.
Dude,
and that they are basically debating right now whether the game is worth fixing and saving. If it's going to get the No Man's Sky treatment, or if we're going to simply abandon this mess.
I hope they fix it. I know they probably won't, because in the end, it's like that game. I can't imagine has more than like 3 people playing it. But
yeah,
it's like
it didn't.
It was fun.
It was so much fun. Oh my god, we had so much fun with it.
It was so much fun, just like flying around, being like a freaking robot dude, and just you like land and you punch some guy in the throat and his head explodes, and you launch a nuke off your shoulder and you just fly back up into the air. You fly through waterfalls and water, and
yeah, honestly,
it was so cool.
You know, when it came out, me and you played quite a bit of it, and I think we played the beta as well.
We played the beta, and then I think I don't know if you did or maybe we did, but I remember we brought like the exclusive access thing for Origin, so we could play earlier when the game was going to come out.
Yeah.
So,
man, yeah, we both did. I loved Anthem. The issue with Anthem isn't even the systems in it. It was that there was no content. There was literally the one raid. And then it's like, we got another raid scheduled in 4 months, and you're like, 4 months? What, did you fucking finish the game at all? And there was like no PvP. There was like some world quest, but it was
It just
It
lacked.
was, yeah, it was a big open world. It was a lot of fun. It felt, I mean, the systems just felt amazing. The engine felt good, but there was, I mean, just clearly the game was like done. They just didn't add the rest of the
Yeah.
content to it.
He's hoping they fixed it, but at the same time, I wouldn't be too
Yeah,
surprised.
let's put a wager on that, fellas, because we'll have an answer within the next week or two. What are you going with? No, Bear?
I want to say, I'm gonna be. No, you know what? I'll say yes. I think they're gonna fix.
You think they're gonna fix it?
I think because the amount of time they spent like boosting this game and all the years of development, I feel like EA is like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's be a good company.
Dylan?
So, I think I'll start by saying I think it is possible to salvage like a game that already had a very bad launch, as we have seen with like No Man's Sky and like Final Fantasy XIV, despite my dislike of it. Like, I think it's possible to save the game if the core is strong enough on its own or like unique that it's something like worth seeing like have it come to its full like fruition.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's EA, and I feel like they don't think they're going to get a return on their investment in it. And I also think even if they fix it, they'll have like at most like a really like middling response to it. Like, I think the time it's like we kind of talked about last week on the Battle Royale thing, is that it came out towards the tail end. Like, I looked it up. Anthem came out 2019, and then Destiny 2 came out 2017. And Anthem is like a looter shooter Destiny type of thing,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So
Vaguely, yeah.
Right. But I feel like that corner of the market has already, like, Destiny has kind of cemented itself as like the king of looter shooters. Like, I don't see Ubisoft like announcing themselves as like, hey, we're coming out with the Division 2 or whatever.
Division 3, yeah.
Or whatever.
That'd be nice.
Play it anyway.
A man can dream.
But I feel like I don't think there's any hype around that type of game anymore. So I feel like it would probably get positive reception if they fixed it, or like, hey, this is maybe worth going back to. But like I said, at most it'll be like a middling response. And like, it's not like a Battlefront 2 where like the reason it was bad was because of bad microtransaction things. So that redemption was easy, but like to do a complete overhaul and add hours and hours of content, I don't see EA wanting to do that.
Yeah, I will bet you both 1,000 gold each, WoW gold, that they're going to drop that fucker like a hot potato. Because
give me some money bags.
Yes, I am indeed money bags. Because when Battlefront 2 came out, the microtransaction or the loot box thing was a big issue, but the game didn't really have that much content. And they put a lot into it. Even for EA, they put quite a bit into making Battlefront 2 to be in a pretty good spot, I think. I think there's no chance of them doing that here because there is no IP to back up Anthem. It was a brand new IP that they pretty much instantly bungled. And if you tell someone, oh man, that Star Wars game that sucked is now cool, they have since 1978 amount of time of, gee, I love Star Wars behind giving this game a chance. This game that came out last year that basically flopped immediately, that's not behind there at all. In fact, most people probably hate it. There's not even like any good. I'm sure me and Bear are in a minority when we say how much we liked Anthem.
It wasn't last year either. It was the year before. It was 2019.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 2020.
22nd of February 2019, actually.
Yeah.
But I agree.
But yeah, I think most people probably have quite a bit of animosity built up for it, and I think that if EA has anything left of any kind of R&D and or marketing team, they're probably going to drop it. I think they will lose money on it because how long would it take to churn out content? What, 6 months? 7 months, 8 months to get out like even more good content, because I don't think they've updated it at all, or not significantly. The game's life cycle, what, 3 years, maybe 4 years before they're getting into making whatever would be the follow-up to it. There's no way people are going to buy that much. There's no way that's going to be...
Yeah. It's kind of just a flop, and I think they're better off to just cut their losses. I feel like nobody has even mentioned Anthem as a video game in since 2019.
Well,
it's one thing if it's a notoriously bad, we all remember the release of Duke Nukem Forever or something. I mean, that's different too because it was already an established IP, but we remember the really big disasters, but Anthem, it came and went. It wasn't so disastrous. Well, I mean, it was disastrous, but I don't know. There's not many apologists for Anthem.
Well, yeah, I think beyond that, I think people just don't even care. Maybe they don't even feel animosity. Maybe they're just I forgot that game exists.
Right, that's what
and
I'm
it's
saying.
only 2 years ago.
Yeah, I forgot it existed until you mentioned it.
Yeah, I forget it exists. I bought $90 worth of that game.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Poor...
Down the roller coaster we go. Assassin's Creed Valhalla has been having some bad press lately for the astonishing amount of microtransactions in a single-player game. I was reading up on this. I think there is somewhere 9 pieces of armor that you can get by just playing the game, and there is about another 10 that you have to buy for a $60 single-player game.
Now, I think microtransactions in story games like this, where it's just purely cosmetic and stuff, I feel like it's not that much big of a deal. But people getting mad over it have not played the previous titles in this series, because this time around it has the Helix store, which has been in the games for I think 2 games now, maybe 3. This time around, Ubisoft did a good thing, and they got rid of the XP boosters that you get in the previous Assassin's Creeds.
Right.
So there is literally again, it's a single player game, so there's really no reason. There's no boost, unless you just want to cheat the game yourself, essentially, and just not go through it naturally.
Yeah.
But it's there's no reason to get mad about it. It's completely optional. Sure, there's some armors that are locked behind paywall, and I mean, from what the screen shows and what this says in this article on gamespressure.com, it's sure, there's a lot of things here which would be nice to have in the base game, but there's already a lot of things in the base game.
Right.
And the DLCs are coming, which will just add more. I don't know. I think the outcry is just pointless.
I think for me, when I read this, and no one's surprised. Ubisoft is a company that I think kind of had a little bit of a swan dive, and then came back up for a hot second with Siege and Far Cry 5, and then just straight down again. It's so weird that there is microtransactions in a single player game. I try to wrap my head around that, because a single player game has got a shorter lifespan than any other kind of game. It's not like Siege, where you've what are they on? Year 5 now? Year 6?
You shit.
Yeah. It's what in my mind, the idea that they have any cosmetic microtransactions in a game that is going to be obsolete when Assassin's Creed Hotep comes out in 2024 or 2023 is absolutely just predatory to me. That there is some Funko Pop collector that will pay for it and then never play the game again. That to me it gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's like watching someone break a bone. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just,
it seems weird. There's not much of a precedent for it. The only thing think of is like there's like a port of like a really bad game that's like called The Bard's Tale, which is like was ported to the phones, and you could use microtransactions for like level boosts for like this single player RPG from 2005, which is really strange, but the game's garbage, so it's like kind of necessary. But like that's the only example I could even think of like something like, because there are single player games with like expansion packs, obviously,
Right.
and like some of the shit for like the Sims 4 like expansion packs are like kind of like barely anything and charging you $15 for it. It's like but like microtransactions for armor in a single player game, like that doesn't make much sense. Like
So what it says, it's like it's the store itself, it's like the Helix store. It's offering, so you can buy stuff from like armor to weapons to companions to property, which is in-game stuff, and then utilities, which is just pure gold and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean it's just weird. I guess I mean it's a weird thing to have in a AAA games, but I guess it's like they want to make more money off it in the long term, and not expansion packs probably won't.
No, no way.
But
it's weird that they're monetizing console commands of stuff like
yeah,
It's well, and
like,
that was the other thing that a bunch of people on Reddit were talking about is since it's a single player game, people are just getting hacked clients of it and just getting that stuff for free because they're like in the game, they're assets in the game. They just have to be unlocked, which I think is fantastic. I'm sure I'd be lambasted for this if anyone on Reddit ever saw it, but if you're going to expect us to pay for a $60 game and then like another 15 to 30 on top of it for skins, you can go fuck yourself. I hope everyone steals your game.
Yeah, I would be a bit more sympathetic, but they use this stupid system which games are adopting, which is just a fucking money scam where it's not just money you pay with, it's here's our Ubisoft coins, bro. Here's $10 or $12 and you can get 500 credits. Oh, but this thing is 600, and then the next upgrade is like $30 in Helix credits. Well, guess what? Buy 2 of our $12 packs, but then I was overpaying. Just don't talk to us. Just buy our fucking shit. It's like,
yeah, I mean, it's just horrible.
It's such a scam. It's
well, and I understand it for like free to play games or multiplayer games that are being supported over like 3, 4, 5, 6 years. That doesn't bother me. But a single player game, dude, come on. It's not even horse armor. Come on. I loved horse armor.
It's entire like horses instead.
Remember when Bethesda tried doing the paid mods thing?
And
that
it was like World War II on the forums of everything Bethesda. Yeah.
I remember like Steam like tried that for like a minute and then immediately like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, we didn't watch either. We have no idea what you're talking about.
Steam was a bit more, I think, it was trying to be a bit more friendly because it was more like offering to, it was more like them trying to support mod makers on the workshop, but like it was still, it's just a bad idea. It's like,
yeah. Whereas
if modders want money, they can open a Patreon, and I'll consider subscribing never. So, speaking of Patreon,
this is a great time to plug patreon.com/Guildies podcast. You can become an honorary guild member. Access to our Discord. You can send us ideas for topics. You can vote on those topics. There's one of you right now. So yeah, consider it. But it's $1. $1 a month. I'll personally reach out to you, tell you thank you. Tell you what, you're such a sweet.
He'll even kiss you.
Yeah. You're such a nice young man. Okay, so moving forward on our wonderful news journey, and I'll save the last two because they're kind of connected to each other. So we'll save those, and I'm sure it will spur on a large and horrible discussion. But Blizzard says Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 will not be released in 2021. Confirmed. Will not. Some people have speculated that them announcing both of them was to kind of smooth over the Hong Kong controversy that they had with I can't remember the Overwatch player's name. Or was it a Hearthstone? It was the Hearthstone tournament, right?
Yeah,
I remember the guy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
And that these games were really not in like a trailer development cycle kind of thing. They're not anywhere near being done. I wasn't that excited for either of them. I kind of don't care about this piece of news. I
have a few opinions. I think
Ready
I'm
for
excited for Diablo.
Sure.
I'm curious to see what they can do. I like Diablo.
Yeah,
I
me
had
too.
fun playing it. We had a lot of fun playing it.
Mhm.
If they want to take another year, whatever. I'm not like scratching at the walls for it, but I mean, I'd rather them have an idea when it's going to release.
That's what I meant with it. Like I will probably end up buying both of those games. Maybe not Overwatch 2. Definitely Diablo 4.
that
I will buy Diablo 4. But like I'm not there's like people who are like, "Oh, what the fuck?" All Black Dodge Ram. Like they're like super upset about it, and I just don't like
Gamer Americans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Overwatch. Dude, it's but like Overwatch 2 is like in this gray zone of me just is this game even a thing or is this like something they're just saying a lot? Because it seems so pointless. I don't know because if they want to like to slap on a story to Overwatch, it's stupid. I don't care about the story of a competitive esports league game.
And that's what it is. I don't know why they don't just expand on the engine or add content to Overwatch, because you're going to be able to play Overwatch 1 and 2 together in the multiplayer. But 2 is just going to have this.
Yeah, 2 is supposed to be like a single player or like a co-op, like offline type of thing.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like dumb. A Dota 2. I don't think it's that dumb because they're really trying to like expand the lore, and like I feel like it's not like really ridiculous lore or like lore for lore's sake.
I mean
like,
it's fine. Yeah, I mean
I'd want to see, like I'd rather play a game and get some of the background on some of the characters that I like rather than have it just all through like blurbs through comics and like random things.
Well, and I like the idea that they put in like a story mode where you can customize the character abilities and stuff. I think that's fantastic. I just don't think you can justify another game for it. I think Overwatch 2 may perform worse than they think.
If it's like over $60 they're charging for it, it's a fucking stupid, pointless thing. I don't care. It's like
40. I feel like
if it's 40, like maybe. But like I think if they're going to charge the same price, if not more, or like the full price of a AAA game, or like Overwatch 2 with Overwatch 1, I just think it's just like such a shitty thing to do. I
don't think it'll pan out at all. But I'm probably wrong, because think of the Funko Pops.
True. Why? Plus, the Overwatch community seems relatively loyal to it.
But why would they, like, it wouldn't make sense to them to release it for free, or like it seems like it'd be a lot of work to get little return on it.
Well, yeah, but obviously you don't. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to release for free, but like charging like a full price or something for essentially just a story mode slapped on to like an already I feel like a well built up game.
Yeah, because the multiplayer will not change. Is like the main aspect of Overwatch will not change between the two games, and the updates that Overwatch 2 will get for multiplayer, Overwatch 1 will get. So you're already fragmenting the player base from the get-go. I think it's fine that they want to charge for it. I just don't know why it didn't just get like, here's another 30 gigs on Overwatch 1, $25.
And like here's an expansion pack or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the story pack. But yeah, it just seems very weird to do, and it might obviously be the thing like Hayden mentioned with the Hong Kong incident, because it was announced like super fucking early with like, and nothing came since. Like there's not even I think there was like an announcement trailer or something.
I don't even think there was like an animation for it. I think it was just like
article.
And then and then like after that, like nothing came from it. Like I'd be a bit more like,
dude, what if they just nix Overwatch 2? They're like, he was it's just another one of the, you remember when they did that like single player mode for like a weekend? Like what if they're like, oh, it was just that. It was just like one of the multiplayer maps turned into a single player thing, and you're like,
terrible.
I feel like if they could really do a lot with Overwatch 2, so I'm excited to see if they actually they could really do something with it, like have more abilities and like more talents or whatever to pick, and
Sure.
like make it more like a single player like RPG type of
Yeah.
thing.
I think they have a lot of ground they could cover with this. And if it's great, then it's great. You know, I'm not hoping Overwatch 2 fails. If it's going to be good and it's going to actually add something, that's very exciting. But if it's like adding on like 10 hours of that game mode we were just talking about, I will be angry face.
I don't. That was my reaction initially, is that they're gonna do more of those like events of like those robots that you
Yeah.
kill.
Not
Those are not
yeah, those
great.
yeah, that's not content.
Yeah, that's
That is the training that's the training room thing, but like with a paint job.
Welcome to Mission 1 of Overwatch 2 Story Mode. Winston, we need you to run through the map of El Dorado or whatever.
Yeah.
To go save Widowmaker.
Yeah.
He starts, and it's just the entire team is like enemy bots of like.
Yeah. You need to collect 5 bananas.
It's like Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a collectathon. There's like over 1,000 collectible pieces you can get in the whole game.
Jesus
I'm so
Christ.
angry. I'm gonna buy it for sure too, but like
I'm not.
that's okay. I understand.
I'll get Cole to buy it again for me. So.
Oh yeah, that's how that happened.
Buy monkey. Chow.
Okay, fellas. Now we're getting down to the meat and potatoes of the podcast. I've been really wanting to talk about this all day. And I'm going to do these in a specific order, and we can come back to both of them. But I'll say the first one, we'll speak our piece, and I'll say the second one. Cyberpunk, or CD Projekt Red, has a major security breach happen over the last, I think, weekend, where there's basically some ransomware stuff going on with all of the source code for Cyberpunk,
Kinda.
Witcher 3, and Gwent, whatever the standalone one's called. I think it's Gwent.
I'm not Gwent.
Yeah, along with all of CD Projekt Red's financial information and all their HR and personnel stuff.
It's fucking crazy. Like holy shit.
I have some thoughts on this. First of all, I'm somewhat skeptical that this has even transpired, because if you look at the statement they released and the note along with it, whoever hacked this and sent them the ransom note literally ends it with "you got pwned."
Yeah, that.
Come on. Come on.
I wonder if it's ironic or if it's genuinely "you got pwned."
I don't know. But he ends the note with "you got pwned." I saw some theories today that are talking about, well, maybe CD Projekt Red is doing this to take some heat off of them committing fraud, so that they don't have to work on other IPs like updating The Witcher for next-gen consoles or Gwent and putting all that money into avoiding several million-dollar lawsuits. I thought that was a pretty compelling idea. There's not a lot of evidence behind it besides the 14-year-old,
Reddit users.
Yeah, Reddit user
Right,
note
Gamer.
that was left behind. Yeah, Gamer American.
Yeah. If you're intrigued by the post, because I think reading out would be kind of stupid. I'm sure Mr. Hayden here will leave a link in the description.
I will leave a link in the description.
But dude,
along with Trollface.
True. But just reading this, and yeah, as you said, it's the note is just so stupid. I mean, maybe it is just a Russian Redditor or some bullshit like that living in 2012 still. But it's like crazy. It's the entire source code for 4 fucking games, and one of which is not even released for the next gen consoles.
It feels staged to me, but also that makes all these games maybe security risks. I remember this happened with TF2. But when they said that they had found the source code for that Valve had come forward and said all these issues that would have been in that version of it have already been dealt with and patched. They haven't even patched like the finishing touches on Cyberpunk. There's no way all these bugs are ironed out from the security side.
Well, it was like even prior before this, like the thing dropped, there was I don't know if you follow the support page for Project Red, but on like the 3rd of February, which is like
I'll
a
let you
week
take
or so
a
ago.
guess.
Okay. But they made a public tweet. It was like, if you plan to use Cyberpunk game mods such custom saves on PC, use caution. We've been made aware of vulnerability in external DLL files that game users which can be execute codes on PCs. So it's.
I originally had that article for this week, and then this happened.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't. There's just so much about this. It's just crazy. Like, for one, CD Projekt Red just can't catch a break apparently. Even if this wasn't them, like, you know, Mr. Hayden's tinfoil hat theory, it's insane. I feel bad for them. I really do. Because I imagine there's a lot of just people at the studio itself who wanted to make a good game and be cool. And now, you know...
they're about to get doxxed by Jimmy living in Florida. There's some 14-year-old that just like is about to leak like 100 people's like addresses to the world.
Yeah, because he couldn't friggin' burn like a Cyberpunk character with his fucking digital ween. But... But yeah, it's like all like, oh dude, the source code. Oh, that game is gonna, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do.
I feel bad for the regular people working at that company. And before Dylan, do you have anything to add to this before I make the next thing?
Well, two things. One, it's just kind of funny or weird. I don't know what you would say really, but like, it's amazing how much goodwill CD Projekt Red built up from just one series, like just from all their Witcher stuff, and then like especially like with Redditor types of people.
Sure.
But then immediately like one game releases that doesn't live up to their expectations, and then all that goodwill is like
Reddit has turned on you like a pit bull.
Right after they released like the Witcher TV show, which was a huge hit.
Oh yeah, also fantastic.
Right, and then now, like everybody's turned on them, and also I don't get what is the accusations of fraud? Is it like, you said this was gonna be in the video game, but it wasn't, or like what?
That is the accusation of fraud for this game. There's some like kind of meta ones, and then there's some like really tangible ones. The most obvious one is how poorly it was performing on last gen consoles. It was literally in a state that was not. So you were literally you were knowingly selling a broken product. That is illegal. Yeah. That is like full stop not legal. I can't do that. I cannot legally advertise that something works and then it does not work. Now if it was like one or two, you know, quality control you can let a little bit through, but if it's like 60% of the user base cannot use the product you're selling, that is illegal.
Yeah, and it would, I feel like it would be a lot less of a thing if it was like, hey, they release it but they've been like advertising it the entire time, and it's like, then suddenly it's not worked too well. But they must have known, because they didn't show any gameplay. They weren't letting reviewers play console variations of the game. So it's clear they were like, hey, this isn't working, but we're gonna release it.
And then
Sony. And that big thing with Sony, how they took it off the store. They also did the whole refund thing, where they're like, hey, guess what? Request refunds, will do our best to support the player base. They didn't tell Microsoft or Sony about the refunds, and they got swamped.
Yeah.
You know, good guy CD.
Yeah, so I mean, that's another potential, you know, intercompany fallout. But also, there was an amount, and I think there's a pretty good case to be made here, that they advertised features in the games that just weren't there. And even though that is maybe a little bit more of a, not subjective, because it's really not, but maybe that's a little bit more of a meta, you know, kind of, you know, sky, in the sky kind of thing. But I think what happened here is there's like an Overton window of how much shit you can push on a game, and I think they just stepped way out of it. And so even if it's not technically illegal, I think a lot of people were like, you just literally Sean Murray'd this. You literally went on television, you went on an interview, and you were like, yeah, you can meet other people. You can play with other people in the world. Whoops, you can't. Hey, whoops, you absolutely can't. And I told you 48 hours ago that you could. Whoops. Oh, no.
You know who that sounds like? Our other friend, who we are going to talk about for our next news segment.
Well, he's included in this next headline. But anyways, that's the accusation of fraud, that you have both released a product that doesn't work with features that you didn't hype up. You didn't like offhandedly say them. They were features that you advertised this game on. And so that one's the subjective one. But our next headline is even more fun. Ori and the Blind Forest dev slams Snake Oil salesman, No Man's Sky, and CD Projekt Red, and then apologizes for it because Reddit got to him. But Ori and the Blind Forest dev, I don't know his name, I didn't write it down, who cares, basically said that these people, I think he literally uses the word like tumor on the game industry, and that it is absolutely criminal that AAA titles are able to get away with it and that players support it. Yeah, he came out swanging. And I obviously, you know, we've talked about it in here a bunch. Totally agree with him. I think it sucks that he had to walk it back because he was probably getting like death threats from like furries and stuff. So, you know, that makes me sad. But I think it goes to show, and this is something I wanted to mention when we talk about them getting hacked. I don't know how anyone's surprised by this. And let me preface this with, I feel so bad for the regular people who are just like, pretty cool, I get to go work at CD Projekt Red, and you go into work and they're like, they leaked your bank information and your social security number, and you're like, that's heartbreaking. That is going to ruin some good people's lives. But also, everything we just talked about in like absolute objective fraud and then subjective fraud, how are you surprised? Like this cannot possibly be a surprise. You clearly did something wrong to 1 million people, 2 million. I don't know how many like pre-orders this was, but you literally ripped off like 1 million people. Like, how is this surprising to you?
Yeah.
That one for me is like, if I went outside and I went to all my neighbors and I'm like, I will mow your grass for $60. I'll mow your grass, and you know what? I'll water it too. Okay, so the summer goes by. By the end of the summer, let's say I got 20 people. 15 of them have got yellow grass and patches that are like weird and uneven. And they're like, hey, you didn't do your job. And I'm like, well, guess you have to wait for cutting the grass too. Like, those people would be at my door and like, hey, is there going to be any recompense here? Are we going to, I want my money back. But like, if I was like calling the cops and I'm like, oh, there's people at my door asking for money. Like, I don't, like, it's my fault. I literally just ruined their grass and made them pay $60 for not what I advertised. I don't know. I don't know how people are surprised by this. I feel like it's tragic, but I feel like they're lucky it wasn't more.
I don't know how many times big companies are going to make these mistakes, but...
And then they keep repeating them because they think it's not their fault.
Well, and that's my point with this is like, at some point, one of these companies was going to get significant blowback. Like, you can only sell me a fucking dog turd that doesn't even function like a dog turd. Like, imagine you selling me shit, and I'm like, this doesn't even stink. What? You didn't even sell me shit right. How'd you fuck this up? Eventually, one of these companies, people are going to be like, dude, seriously? Are you fucking you just made me pay $60 for dog shit, and it was dirt. It wasn't even shit. It was just dirt. Like, at some point, this was going to happen. And I really hope this is just staged, because I again cannot express how like awful it is that very real, normal working class people could lose a lot from this.
Like it's just the same shit, and it's like, is this surprising that any of this happened? Not really. Like,
I hope there is some kind of learning that happens from this.
Hopefully.
Like when the Fable thing happened, like I don't like, obviously the blowback wasn't as big because I don't think there was like the sphere that there is now to have something reach such like insane negative critical mass like Cyberpunk did. But I genuinely hope there is like someone at like EA or Ubisoft that is like, wow, there could be consequences for my actions. Like even if it's like an investor board, like I genuinely hope someone's like, maybe
you should not do what you're about to do.
Like maybe we should, even if we're gonna release shit, like we gotta be honest about the shit. Like, we can polish that dog turd, but we can't say it's piss. It's shit. Listen, there's no piss included. This is...
How dare you short me?
Yeah, you're shorting me on piss. I paid for shit, and I got piss. Okay.
Piss and shit.
So that covers most of the news I had for this week. Do you fellas have anything that you wrote down, you scribbled?
Nothing big, but it's kind of like a minor thing, and it's kind of like in a bit of a past. But funny Mass Effect 2 is coming out soon.
The remaster thing.
Remaster.
What do we call it?
And I know a lot of people are excited, and there's also that whole debacle with them removing scenes of Miranda's ass when she's like, there's certain scenes where her butt is on full display.
Oh.
It's kind of like really pointless to be there, and they're just changing it, and it was a big debacle, and blah 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 blah.
Really? I think I missed that Reddit shitstorm.
I thought I sent it to you, but yeah, it's like, if you go back to it now, like I haven't seen like a compilation of it, but I've heard people talking about it, how it's like pretty bad on how like the camera really likes to linger on certain parts of her body and shit.
Like it was just originally just kind of like service.
There was some scenes I felt that it just wasn't. I don't know what they were thinking when they did it, but yeah, I think because there's one scene that comes to everyone's minds is when she's talking to the main character, and she's like, "Oh, hello, Shepard. I'm built to be perfect," and I guess it's in a kind of way it's like fine in that kind of scenario. But there's a time later on the story when it's like it's a big story thing for her, and you're helping her, and you're recovering her lost sister or her hidden secret from a very evil father, and they're meant to be reunited in a happy time. But I think like as she's talking to her, like as she's talking to Shepard about her sister and everything, it like pans down to her ass. It's like, this is meant to be a sentimental moment. I'm just getting ass cheek. I'm just eating cake, bro. Like, what's going on here? Like,
yeah, I'm looking at it now, and there's in the middle of a conversation, like she's talking, the camera just like cuts. Like she's basically frozen on like a shot of her butt, like while you select a dialogue option.
That scene specifically, though, I think is although it's kind of goofy, I think it's okay, because I think that, if I remember correctly from me playing these games like 7,000 fucking times. Oh no, never mind. I'm fucking wrong. And this is the part where he talks about her sister. I'm stupid.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's fine. I don't know. I've played all those games like once.
I think it's not too much of an issue. It's an ass at the end of the day. I don't think anyone's gonna be like, yeah, it's cool.
Well, it kind of falls into like the power fantasy stereotype of like women throwing at you like, "Oh my god, gamer, I love you so much." Let's have like bump these weird mannequin people together.
Fellas, I gotta piss in my piss jug real quick. 1 second.
You.
I'm so sorry. I was literally about to piss into my thing, and I'm like, dude, we can just pause for 2 seconds. 1 second. 1 second, fellas. 1 second. I'm gonna get my piss jug. Listen, I'm committed to our art. Okay.
That's what we'll call it.
Here, I'll just leave it running because I can just edit it out. 1 second. Time to go to the piss.
Are you watching the video still?
Yeah, it's just I forgot how much of like ass is in this game.
Right,
Dude.
I told you it's bad. Like it's
What?
like because sometimes like people will make a claim about something and sometimes it'll come off as like reaching maybe, but it's like you don't have to really think about it. Like that camera is just like hanging there.
There's a few scenes in this where it's like just fuck. Like when she sits down, it's like it's not just like oh she walks over there and sits. She like walks over there, turns her ass and like flashes the camera and then sits down. Like
right, like and also like of her like walking away and her in the background. It's just like
it's like every introduction you've seen of her, she's just like slam cake.
Right. It's like it's one thing like she is wearing form-fitting clothes, but at the same time it's like depends on how much you focus on it.
I'm kind of iffy because I do know, from what I recall, it's like her whole gimmick though is that she's meant to be
Oh
this,
yeah,
like, super...
baby.
Oh, this jug man's back.
Good trip to the pee room. Put my headphones back on. Hope I didn't interrupt anything.
No, Dylan and me were just watching over the butt video again. And it is there is a lot of ass. There's a lot of scenes where it's like really just fucking pointless. But I was just like,
it's really lingering.
Yeah, I'd like to clarify before we go on, which we should go on, or you fellas should go on because you seem like you're having a great time discussing this. We absolutely do not endorse the actions against CD Projekt Red. Just so everyone just so everyone is
disavow.
Yeah, in very clear form, we absolutely do not endorse that. I don't think they deserve that in any way. Okay, there it is. Go on, ass. Miranda ass.
Yeah, I think while there is clearly a lot of scenes where it's meant to be like, you know, this is like, you know, sex doll, but cake sex doll. There is like a whole story arc of her being genetically modified to be like that. It's meant to be like she's meant to be some like fucking super agent or whatever, and she's like purposely meant to be like everything about me is meant to give me an edge, including looks and physique and all that stupid shit.
I feel like that's just horniness. Like,
well, yeah, but I'm not saying that at all justifies all the scenes of her sitting down and like flashing her giant badonkadonk to the character, but I think there's like to a degree there's certain times where it's like people complaining about it are just complaining about it because there is an ass in the screen. You know, I don't think every scene of it is like, you know, no, this is stupid.
I'm just saying, if I made a super android that was perfect in every way, she would have
a dick.
Just say a dick. Nah, not a. Okay, maybe I would make a Fuda android, but she'd have herself a big old Timmy Thick yam on her, buddy. That android would have such bodacious yammy crickets going on back there. The caboose would be immaculate. So I definitely see that gamer American standpoint on this, where like if she's perfect, of course she's gonna have, you know.
But when you combine it with other stuff of just kind of like the romance thing being a big part of it, and how romance in a lot of games is just kind of dumb because it's like when you think about it, is like, yes, I get enough relationship points, and then I win a sex scene as my prize.
Sure.
Like, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah,
And, like,
I hope that doesn't have any unintended consequences on young
Right.
men.
Right, like, it's really bad when you break it down that way. Like, that's how, like, so many things, like, whether it's like a visual novel or like a BioWare RPG, it's like getting relationship points for sex, and then pair the, like, it's a one thing for her to be sexy or whatever, but it's another when it's like the camera is like constantly trying to show that off. And when it's like you pair that with the other romance stuff of like the Asari race, I'm pretty sure it is, who's like
Yeah.
whatever species is looking at them, they'll look the most appealing to that species.
Yeah,
Like,
that
from like a
whole
sexual attraction kind of way.
it's yeah, that's I don't really
Yeah.
understand that much too much.
But see, I think it should be like World of Warcraft, where I just
Everything should be
where I kill enough of their enemies and my reputation is raised high enough that I'm exalted with them, and then I get to have sex with them. Or if I wear a tabard with their face on it, and then I kill enough people, just random people.
Or you come back every day and like guide turtles to water,
Yeah.
or play a crossword puzzle.
Yeah.
Or everybody carries around a business card which details all their kink preferences. That way you can hang out in Goldshire and then just exchange cards.
We should do an episode in Goldshire.
Yeah, honestly, I literally
But on-
made a night
on
off this
Moongard.
week. Yeah. You want to go to? I don't even. I think it's full. I don't know. Does full
Full
mean
of
you can't get
cum,
in? Okay. I mean, yeah, I'd go on Moongard and do. What did you guys think of that idea? And I'll open it up to the penis gallery, as the old saying goes.
As they say.
Yeah, as they say, yeah.
Common expression, the penis gallery.
The old idiom, the old colloquial metaphor. That's what an idiom is. That is the definition of idiom. What did you guys think of the idea where like we just get our WoW characters somewhere in the game and then just do have that be part of the visual?
Thought we agreed on that.
Do you guys like that? Because literally what we could do is exactly what Jibby did right here with the like graphics, like Guildies podcast, and just take out Mulgore and the like business guys, and then just have like we're like
They're
sitting by the
invested in
campfire.
Mulgore, okay? Don't leave them alone.
We can do it in Mulgore. We can do it in one of the inns in Mulgore. We can do it.
Mulgore's a great place.
But we could just have it like a border on it, and that would be. I think that'd be kind of cool. You want to just try one? You want to try that for next week's for the Horde versus Alliance episode, which we just announced and are doing, by the way, so everyone mark it. And Sean will be back. How excited is everyone for that? How great was Sean? Yeah. Thanks, Sean, for coming on the podcast. I kind of meant to do that in the beginning.
I'm gonna kiss you, Sean. I'm gonna. Mwah.
Yeah, I'm gonna push you up against the wall and kiss you. You're breathtaking.
I'll put you on the washing machine, bro.
Also, to just touch on not to touch on Cyberpunk again, but don't tell me when you saw the Keanu Reeves promo, you weren't like rolling your eyes, like your fucking eyes were gonna come out of your eye sockets. You're like, Jesus Christ.
I thought it was cool, but like I don't think it was.
Yeah, but how many good games have you played that had to be promoted by a celebrity?
World of Warcraft.
No, Mr. T doesn't count. No, absolutely
he's a celebrity
not.
and he promoted it.
Yeah, but he's not in the game. They didn't use Mr. T's likeness.
I'm sorry. Did you not ever get the Night Elf Mohawk grenades?
Oh my god.
He's a part of the World of Warcraft.
I actually didn't, because I played End of Wrath in Takata, so
I don't remember. I think
Mr. T's in the game. What are you talking about?
they had it around.
Oh my god, he's not a main. You know what I mean? Mr. T is not Anduin. Varian's son isn't Mr. T.
Have you not seen the trolls? Excuse me.
Ooh, whoa! What the?
The Mohawks, you fucking clown.
Oh, okay.
Where the fuck were you going
I was
with that?
like, pulling on my collar. I'm like, eee.
It's been a good run. Didn't make it to episode 10. Goodbye, everybody.
It's getting hot in here.
Fucking Jesus.
I don't know if we're gonna leave that in. That was a dubious take. I don't. We'll have to see. I'll review that and. Dude, seriously, what the fuck?
Well, we should Patreon members should get these unedited.
No.
Patreon exclusive racism.
Yeah. That's not cool, man. Come on.
Hey, bro, what the?
Yeah. Well, you are the contracted, right? Yeah, see, me and Dylan are the normal ones. We're the normal, good Midwestern boys.
Who was the one that thought I was
No, come on. Now, listen. You can't say... No, we're not doing this. We're absolutely not exploring the nuances of World of Warcraft.
You're from Upside Down World. What do you know?
Yeah, right. You're literally from the Echo Isles. I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
Hey.
More like the Maelstrom.
Nice. Damn, you get fucking dunked on.
Bro.
Oh god, Kata sucks so bad.
I've never played through Kata.
Yeah, it's like not.
It's like an island in the middle of the map, and it's just boring.
Well, and you also got to think Kata just like revamped a lot of zones, which was like
right.
their like what happened. Was reading some more of Wolfheart because I stopped and then picked it up again. There's a part where they talk about a bunch of underground dwarven caves collapsing and stuff, and like I just assumed a bunch of dwarves. Yeah, I just assumed a bunch of dwarves like got 9/11'd in their little tunnels. And feels pretty good. Yeah. You got to think about it. Deathwing is kind of Al Qaeda or the Taliban. Can we say Taliban without getting censored? I guess it's not gonna get demonetized. So.
Yeah, because we're not making money off the video itself anyway.
yeah, we're not allowed to have ads yet. But yeah, you got to think about Deathwing is basically Osama bin Laden.
True.
Yeah,
True.
And he 9/11 the dwarf tunnels. I think that's pretty messed up.
Who killed Deathwing?
You do at the end of the Kata raid, right? At the end of Dragonstone.
Because I can't imagine like we're all just Navy SEALs.
I mean, Dylan, do you remember Dragonstone that well? Thrall's there, and I think Calicos is there, and a bunch of the dragon aspects.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that's how that goes.
As a Navy SEAL. He like throws a flashbang in and shoots fucking.
He's got an M16.
Osama bin Deathwing.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be a good thumbnail in the next few months.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I shouldn't even said nothing, dude. It's gonna be so fucked up. I meant to ask you guys this, and I didn't get to, but I think here is a great place to woodshed this one. I want to start doing a segment where we'll do like a fallen heroes segment, and
talk about dead people.
No. Well, we just find.
Go on.
We like check the news every week for like people who have recently died of autoerotic asphyxiation, and we honor them on the podcast.
Hey.
Oh, jeez, what? Oh, come on.
it's one thing, but these people literally just died.
They're heroes. They died choking themselves and jacking off.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. You guys could never understand the beauty. And we're honoring our fallen heroes. This is a great idea.
Ideas, okay?
Jeez.
But
cancel twice in one episode.
What's cancel-worthy about that? I'm literally honoring them. I
love
jacking off.
Talks about the people who strangle themselves or like slapping cake or something, dude. Like, I don't know. It's not like it's been dead for a couple of years. It's like within the week or whatever.
Well, okay, we can find later one. But I was like, we can just have like a...
Oh my god.
Okay, all right. Point taken. It's I thought it'd be like you got to think those people have like a good sense of humor, right? Like
they're dead, hey.
If they're doing it, well, they're dead now, but they weren't. You got to think if you're at a point in your life where you're like hanging you got your belt wrapped around the door handle, and you're hanging yourself. You're jacking off. You're getting this crazy intense orgasm. You're like, okay, this is kind of goofy.
Oh my god.
Listen, I did.
Do you reckon he's like in like as he finishes and it's like the split moment of he's like, it's like, oh fuck, what am I doing? And then he just fucking dies.
Yeah, it's horrible. Well, there's. Yeah, yes, exactly. I tried it one time.
What? Oh my god.
Well, okay, so I wasn't like tied my like. Literally, I saw it on South Park, and I was like, I was like 16.
Oh my.
Which again,
God.
I can't. There's a lot of content here tonight that Guildies is absolutely not endorsing hanging yourself and jacking off. I can't stress that enough.
How can you not endorse auto asphyxiation?
Oh my god. Anyways, I tried it when I was 16, and I was just choking myself with my hand while I was. And I was like getting close to the point where I was like about to pass out, and I'm like, dude, holy shit, what am I doing? Dude, I don't even know. Listen, the moment passed, I never tried it. It actually scared me kind of bad because I was choking myself. It wasn't like
funny cartoon South Park characters lied to
dude, I think is it Kenny who dies from autoerotic asphyxiation?
I imagine I thought it would be like Mr. Gay or something.
You mean Mr. Slave? It's Mr. Slave. Mr. Gay.
That's Dylan.
Oh, come on. He's our buddy.
He's not even here.
Yeah, he messaged me BRB again. I dare you. I'm in the middle of a podcast. Yeah. But okay, so that's a no on the Fallen Heroes Memorial.
War hero.
Yeah, no, I said Fallen Heroes, not war. No. I don't want to. No. Yeah, that would actually maybe make people mad. Okay, if people hear this and you're like, how could he do that? Come on. What are you talking about?
Hey,
it's a little. I mean, it's like not funny that they died, but the premise of
kind of funny.
Come on, now that's wrong. But the premise of like choking yourself while you beat your dick, dude, like that's pretty funny.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Like a sex swing is funny. Don't you think that's funny?
This
like you buy like a swing that you hang from like the ceiling and then you fuck someone. I think that's funny.
That's dumb. That's just
yeah, right. It seems like inconvenient. Like I feels like I have to go through a weekend of getting power tools, getting a stud finder, drilling into my ceiling, and then praying to God this thing doesn't break and rip out half of my ceiling.
That's the weird thing though. It's like once you install it, it's kind of just there. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
you kind of hope you have like hooks that latch on there, so you're not just like.
Sure.
And here's you have like your cat litter box next to it, and you gotta be able to take it down.
Here's my bed. Here's my cat's litter box. Here's my sex swing. Here's the door to the bathroom.
Yeah, how do you like reconcile that? Like everyone's like, oh, what are those two? I guess not two. You probably got to have like at least 4, right? You got to have like a.
I imagine it's the same kind of thing with like sex dolls, like the really expensive ones. It's kind of like,
oh yeah, you're just gonna throw that body in your closet.
Yeah, like what do you do? Like I imagine it's kind of like the this weird don't talk about it kind of thing.
Yeah. Anyways, please don't be mad about the autoerotic asphyxiation thing. Listen, we're not gonna do it. That was cut in post, right? We're not.
What's cut in post?
Nice. I will actually probably leave it in, but we're not actually doing the segment in the future. Well, that one's been next. I'm excited for next week. We're gonna do some Horde versus Alliance. I assume this is gonna be a hefty video, because I'd like to go over in no small amount of detail pretty much every facet of the Horde and Alliance and our opinions on that. I think it's going to be a great one. I think everyone's going to really enjoy it. I think some new fellers are going to click on it. I think that's a...
Yeah, be prepared for a biased video, by the way.
You know what? I'm going to do my best to give...
I'm not.
A fair
Fuck the Alliance.
True. I'm going to try and give the Alliance a fair wag. I want to give them. I won't get into it because that is for that podcast. But we're gonna. It will not just be us unilaterally shitting on Alliance. It'll just be one of us clearly shitting on the Alliance. I know you will. I've got no illusions about that. What?
The Alliance suck. There you go. I said it.
Damn. You really brought that one home. You know who didn't bring it home? Where the hell is Dildor?
I don't know. He like vanished.
Did you have anything else to add? Yeah, we could add here at some point.
That was a game that was announced. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because I'm retarded, but
you didn't write it down.
No, there was a game that I think got announced, but
wasn't doing it.
Regardless. Yeah.
Okay, well, that concludes gamer news. Let's go back.
Wait, hold on. It's out in development. The Anthem game Twitter.
Wait. No way. This just happened live? No fucking way.
No, never mind. False alarm.
Oh my god. Okay. That concludes the gamer news, episode 2. I'd like to once again let everyone know how much we do not condone choking yourself and masturbating, and also doxing some very real people. That's very horrible. Please don't do it. Please don't take this as us condoning it. I think CD Projekt Red should obviously face consequences for their actions. I don't think that ruining all their workers' lives is the consequence that should be administered, and it probably should not be by a mob. That seems like a bad way of doing business. Now, hopefully I will have put some kind of disclaimer right after I get done with my tirade in the middle of the video, but I may not have because I am vaguely lazy. So there's all our disclaimers. Can't sue us, or please don't try, because you'll win.
I have no money. We'll pull up some fucking. He's a banker, okay? Listen.
Whoa, hey, whoa.
It's fine.
I'm actually a garbage man. I just LARP as a. I don't want you guys. I don't want you guys to judge me.
Thing, honestly.
I feel like you guys are like. I feel like if I use banker, you guys are like, ooh, he's good with money and stuff. But I'm actually a garbage man, and I work for the city I live in, and I was just worried you guys would think I'm not smart enough to review video games. I feel like, I'm not a gamer American.
Dylan's got an OnlyFans if you're interested.
Okay. So all our disclaimers are out of the way. Time for a little bit of selling. Patreon.com/Guildies podcast. We have a Patreon. $1 a month, honorary guild member. Really, it's just a way to support the podcast right now. There's not a whole bunch of perks, but you do get access. We'll be friends with all of you. You get access to our Discord. You are able to send us topics directly and vote on topics and polls that we'll do. And when there's a WoW guild that happens, you'll be first on the list, although it will
people
be.
Who pay money with benefits. The others don't.
It will be totally free, but you'll have a rank in the guild. So, just made that one up on the fly. So if you don't see that on Patreon, don't. It's coming. Don't.
We just need about 200 reviews and start making the guild.
All right. Well, Bear's starting to robot, so I will. Bid you all adieu, and we're excited to see you next week.
Bye-bye.